The key to taking good photos is not what you think. Good photos won't magically appear by clicking the right buttons. Hi, I'm Tommy, and welcome to TR Street Mag, the show that teaches you practical ways to improve your photography, inspires your next shot, and helps you grow as a photographer. Some of the greatest street photographers throughout history have used this process to keep them inspired, maintain consistency, and create moments that have lasted a lifetime. This is a process that I've used myself to help me improve my photography as a whole, not just for street photography, which is what makes it such a game changer. Many creatives struggle to look for the right moments at all levels of experience. It's a human and universal response, so don't feel like you can't get out of this cycle. The question is, how do you know when a decisive moment is, and how do you create it? It all starts by identifying your intention. Intention is the purposeful direction behind creating an image. You first need to identify what you will be focusing on. You can lean into inspiration when you're really stuck on this question. What themes have caught your eye lately? You can start to think what it is exactly that motivates you to go out and create. For me, I have a cinematic style in my photography, so I look at photographers who use film cameras. I also watch videographers too, because movies and short films are the whole reason that creatives find strong composition, colours, and lighting. I also like to follow creatives that think outside the box, or people who have redefined photography. This is essential to help you stay focused. While being intentional, it's important to identify which gear suits your final image best. It may not be about having the best camera or the lens, unless there is a specific priority like sharpness, detail, or background blur. I'm sure you've heard many photographers say that gear matters the most when shooting, but from my experience, it's how you use the right tools to create something that stands out. For example, if I wanted to use soft, hazy sunlight, I might use a cheap prime lens with a wide aperture like f1.8, which may create some haze and flare around my light sources, which works in my favour. You might want something versatile like a standard zoom or a telephoto lens to prioritise sharpness on architectural features or even capturing a portrait from a longer distance. It's really up to you how you use your gear. You can even use your own portable lights. They don't need to be expensive, so don't box yourself in. Use gear that allows you to be expressive and only bring with you what helps you achieve your intended goal. Moving on from intention to observation, I like to follow a technique used by film photographers to help slow the process down. By missing key photo opportunities, you trick your brain into observing your options. You allow yourself to step back without the camera and intentionally look for what they call the right moment. So why would I intentionally miss photo opportunities, and why should you? Being in a constant cycle of taking simultaneous photos causes your brain to constantly want the right moment, but it doesn't give your brain a process to follow. I always follow the same process when I go out to shoot. Spending time without a camera when you initially arrive at a location allows you to appreciate what's around you. And also, you may have spent some time away from street photography, so you need to ease yourself back into it. Don't feel bad about missing the moment. More moments will come, and possibly better than what you originally saw. It's important to go out with an intention, as originally said at the start of the episode, so you can familiarise yourself with images that inspire you. Maybe a person walks past a lit up window at the right moment, or a nice car pulls up in a stunning location. Be intentional, and the moments will come in waves. I do point and shoot before my shots in order to become intentional, because this helps to warm up the part of my brain that needs to focus. You may feel like this contradicts what we previously spoke about, but I can assure you it's just a natural process the brain needs to go through in order to ground you. By spending less time taking random photos when we are waiting for the right moments to happen, we take less photos and we notice that our hit rate becomes higher. It's the natural evolution with photographers. For some people, it may take months, and for most, it will take years of practice and waiting. Be patient with yourself. You don't need to master the exposure triangle yet. Just focus on being intentional. This next part is the key. Photography is all about the light, not the gear, not the colours, or even the technique. So you should go and search for it. Light transforms, creates, and shapes images, so you may have to look for it. So what type of lighting matters most in street photography? We have two main types of light sources in street photography. On one hand, we have hard light that comes directly from the sun, or we have soft light, which is diffused light that comes through curtains or windows. Another popular technique you can use to help you look for this is to change your photos into black and white in camera, also called monochrome. Monochrome effectively shows us the blacks, shadows, midtones, highlights, and white areas. You can look for soft light where low contrast is created. This often looks like flat grey in dark areas compared to hard light from the sun, which can create high contrast scenarios with really white and black areas combined in the photo. This creates high contrast. Black and white photography is a different ballgame, but by learning to teach yourself how the light is portrayed across the image, you can transfer this knowledge into colour mode when the sun lights the same scene. For example, I would look for shop windows at night. They provide neon signs, and often the light is powerful enough to light up the environment outside, which makes it an interesting scene with people walking by. The hard light used here can create silhouettes and make your images thought-provoking. Remember that we often look for humans in photos, so keep in mind when waiting for the decisive moment. Of course, you don't have to shift your camera to black and white, but I do find this a good strategy to train your eye to focus on the right scenes. We can effectively use the exposure triangle once we've understood how light shifts and changes our photos. It also contributes to learning how we can color grade. So if you'd like to learn more about effectively using lighting, I'm running a free photo editing workshop in 14 days covering the basics of photo editing and how you can shape light during post-processing. If this interests you, make sure to follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description. I know you won't want to hear this bit, but patience is the key to street photography. Whether you shoot film or digital, not just patience with waiting for a shot, but patience with yourself to create something that makes a difference. Patience defines what style you create, and that helps you figure out what you need to do next. The last hurdle to jump over in order for you to stand out as a street photographer is to train your mindset. Once you apply everything you have learned, sometimes it's not enough when there is no intention, purpose, or patience. Photos often create themselves when you use the right composition, such as leading lines that often point towards a person. You may have realised by now that you've probably been subconsciously doing all of these things all along, but once you apply it as a habit, it helps you develop a style. Remember that the greatest photographers are able to create a body of work because they understand the principles of photography, not just how to compose photos using settings on your camera. Okay, so you found a scene you think is interesting, but now you're lacking a main subject. So what do? Do you wait till they arrive, or do you walk away? This is the key moment, the decisive moment. Don't give up, you're nearly there. In my experience, when I'm in this position, I wait for people to arrive. I don't imagine particular colours or a certain style of person. You'll know the right moment when you see it. It can feel boring sometimes, but if you dedicate yourself to the idea, it will happen. Sometimes it's better to have lots of shots of the same scene because they may become interesting in the future when your style develops, even if it doesn't go as planned. You dedicate your time wisely, with purpose, with direction, and all you need to do is repeat that process every single time. More experiences behind the camera improve your confidence and your knowledge. Also, patience is key because it teaches you to let moments unfold naturally. Moments won't unfold if you force them to. Go out with openness and let it come back to you. Patience is key. Sometimes you might not spend enough time waiting for a subject to arrive, that you discover a new camera setting, accidentally change a setting that you realise you like, and you wouldn't have known that unless you persevered. So to round off today's episode, remember to plan your shoot, observe more and think less. Look for lighting. It won't find you, and be patient with yourself. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed, please do drop a follow, and make sure to follow me on all socials to stay up to date with the latest workshops and blogs from myself and the community. See you in the next episode.